Happy Halloween, Paranerds! We did it! This is day 31 of the 31 days of Halloween. We did it, Halloween Day, and today we are talking about my must watch movie every Halloween. And we are going full into this one. I am going to be pretty much spoiling the entire thing because I want to do a full synopsis on this movie and I want to talk about why I love this movie so much and give a little bit of behind the scenes facts. And if you've been paying attention, you knew this movie was coming. I've been hinting at this since day one. Today we are talking about
monstrous trolls have sprung to life.
I sure hope you're from Keebler.
And now Ernest P. Worrell is springing into action. He'll try anything
I know Tai Chi Kung Fu, chow mein.
and everything
Your shoes untied.
to save the day.
It's showtime.
It's Ernest P. Worrell in a brand new movie. Ernest Scared Stupid.
How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips? Know what I mean?
Starts Friday, October 11th at a theater near you.
Ernest Scared Stupid. Yes. Ernest's horror movie. Now, y'all might be like, oh, this is so stupid. Who cares? Give it a chance. One of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. I cannot get enough of this movie. Let's talk about what this movie's about. Again, we are going full into this movie. Spoilers and everything. And then we're going to talk about a little bit behind the scenes and then why I love this movie. And that's it. Then the 31 days of Halloween are over and I'm very sad about that. But let's begin. So where do we begin? We begin in the past, where Trantor, a demonic troll who transforms children into wooden dolls to feast upon their energy and bring his children to life in Briarville, Missouri, is captured by the townsfolk and sealed under an oak tree. One of the village elders, Phineas Worrell, an ancestor of Ernest, establishes the seal and traps him in this for the rest of eternity. But then before he can do that, Trantor, oh my god, what am I trying to say? Itchy nose drive me nuts. So, before he's able to seal Trantor in underneath this tree and bury him, Trantor puts a curse on Phineas by saying he will be released by an ancestor of his, a descendant of his, my apologies. He will be released by a descendant of his, and from then on, the generation of Worrells would get dumber and dumber and dumber. Now, 200 years later, we find Ernest, friends of children, he helps Kenny, Elizabeth, and Joey build a treehouse unknowingly on the same tree that contains Trantor. Of course he does. He's Ernest. Now, these kids are being bullied by the mayor's sons, especially after they ruined their cardboard haunted house. So that's why they decide to build this tree house, which is fortified with weaponry. And by weaponry, we mean like rotting pizza and eggs and stuff like that. Just stuff to get them to leave them alone. So shortly after, old lady Hackamore discovers this. She angrily leaves while Ernest follows her, and that's where he learns the story of Trantor and comes back and tells the kids. And he says, on a night like this, on a tree like this, and by a Worrell like him, places his hand on the tree and says, "Hey, Trantor, I release thee." And releases Trantor, the evil troll. because he's Ernest. So Joey, walking home, trips and falls, and he's sliding down a muddy hole, thinking he's going to be trapped. He's calling for help, and he hears Ernest, who grabs his wrist and says, "I got you, buddy." And as he looks up, he finds that it is Trantor, and he turns Joey into a wooden doll. Now, when the kids run away because of all the lightning and all this, shortly before Joey turns into a doll, Ernest gets attacked by something. He gets attacked by Trantor. Ernest is the first one to see Trantor. So he runs away and tries to find Sheriff Binder, who happens to be Kenny's dad, and explains the situation, but of course, they don't believe him. And after none of the townsfolk will assist Ernest because they care more about a Halloween party than they do about fighting a troll, he defends a one-man operation to defeat Trantor. Now, during this time, Trantor captures a young man on a skateboard, becoming his second victim. Uh, Going to the local hardware store, Tom and his brother, I'm sorry, Tom and Bobby uh, run the hardware store. Ernest goes in trying to explain the fact that he's trying to fight a troll and he needs stuff. And of course, the businessmen that they are taking advantage of Ernest and selling a variety of fake troll traps, and one backfires, capturing the mayor's son, and ends up making Ernest lose his job. Ernest, Kenny, and Elizabeth return to Old Lady Hackamore, and then they learn how to stop Trantor by needing the heart of a child and a mother's care. A troll can be stopped by MI something K, which Ernest takes as authentic Bulgarian miak. In reality, it's milk. A mother's care, milk. So, later that night, Trantor claims Elizabeth as his third victim. And that is a horrifying scene in itself. So, how can I explain this scene? She doesn't want to go to the school party. She's scared. Joey's missing. Another boy's missing. She's looking. She tells her mom something's out there, something scary. Her mom doesn't believe her. So she has her mom look under the bed, make sure the monsters aren't there. Of course, there's nothing there. And then she herself decides to look under the bed, only to find a teddy bear. So she grabs the teddy bear, rolls over, and guess who's laying in the bed? Our buddy Trantor, who then turns her into the wooden doll. Poor Elizabeth. Shortly after this, excuse me, I haven't coughed in these videos in a long time. I guess I'm going to start again. Shortly after this, Kenny and a friend named Greg are walking when Trantor uses Elizabeth's voice to lure Kenny away, then takes Greg as his fourth victim. Despite parents being upset at all the missing children, Mayor Murdoch and Sheriff Binder still proceed with the Halloween party at the school, and they believe the missing children will just show up at the party. But do you know who shows up? That's right, Trantor. And he takes the mayor's oldest son and his fifth and final wooden doll victim. And the ensuing fight between Trantor and Ernest, because, Ernest got that miak, he's going to kick some ass. He ends up getting covered in soft serve ice cream, and when Trantor goes to attack him and sees the soft serve ice cream, which is made of milk, he runs away. Kenny, realizing that mother's care refers to milk, rallies a bunch of his young schoolmates to go and fight the troll. Well, back at the treehouse, Trantor successfully summons dozen of his children, while Ernest tries but fails to stop them. How does he try? As as he calls them, Brussels sprouts are growing out of are growing out of the ground. He takes a trash can lid and sits on top of them to get them to stop growing, and one of the funniest scenes in the film. But alas, he fails. So now the townspeople show up and finally believe Ernest. We gotta stop these trolls. However, there are so many trolls, they end up overwhelming and beat them all to just starts beating the crap out of all these people. Kenny and his friends arrive and begin to, they go to this before they arrive. They go to this local grocery store and they mount up on all the milk and squirt guns and all kinds of stuff. It's like a badass armory scene. It's really freaking cool. And so now they start spraying these trolls with the milk, which causes them to melt and become this gooey, disgusting mess. Oh man, during the fight, Trantor escapes beneath the tree where he summons evil demons to make his powers grow and make him invincible, especially to milk. So when Kenny confronts Trantor and spills milk on him, it doesn't work. No one else sees this. They think it's the milk that still works. But then he turns Kenny into a wooden doll, which falls to the ground, and he jumps on top of it. Now, Ernest is the only one left to stop Trantor. Now, with a thing of a little tiny quart of milk, he's ready to fight. All the townspeople are, you kill him, douse him with milk, you know what to do. And he realizes it's not going to work on Trantor. The only way to beat Trantor is unconditional love, the heart of a child. And who best to have the heart of a child but Ernest himself? So what does he do? Well, he picks up Trantor and dances with him, filling him with as much love as he can and finishing off with a kiss to his nose. Which causes Trantor to explode because Ernest truly has the heart of a child. With Trantor's destruction, Ernest is proclaimed a hero. Everyone apologizes to him, and all of the wooden dolls are restored to their normal human beings. And Ernest saves the day. I love this movie. This is a great gateway. If you have not necessarily younger children, but children that are wanting to kind of get into horror, this is a good gateway film into horror movies. It's fun. It's at times scary. It's gooey and gross, and it's Jim Varney playing one of the best comedic fictional characters of all time. May he rest in peace. Here's some behind the scenes facts about this movie, and I will continue on of why I have to watch this every Halloween, why it's become a tradition. The pizza scene being thrown at the bullies who try to attack the kids during the treehouse scene are reused props from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. The Kyoto Brothers, that's right, the Kyoto Brothers, killer clowns, critters, they are credited with the special effects for this film. And of course, killer clowns from outer space, we covered that a few days ago. They created the trolls, and if you look carefully, you will see some trolls that look like some of the clowns from Killer Clowns. They decided to remake some of their old molds and throw them into this as a little wink to Killer Clowns fans. The emblem on the side of Briarsville police card reads Ignoramus ad infinitum. Infinitum. Uh, some ideas the filmmakers and Disney Touchstone had for the title of this movie they ended up not using were Ernest and the Curse, Ernest and the Trolls, and Ernest Scared Stiff. Ernest Scared Stupid is probably the better of those. Director John Cherry kept the animatronic head of the main antagonist Trantor the Troll. He used it in his office, but he has now since given it to his son to display, and I would love to have that piece in the horror collection. I think that would be awesome. Many people believe the meme troll face came from this film. While Ernest is about to run over Trantor the troll, he says the line, "How about a sandwich, booger lips?" After this, he laughs, and it's what looks like the troll face. Yeah, that's where that meme came from. If you look at the scene and you look at what the troll face looks like, it's Ernest. Some people believe the reason why this film didn't perform as well at the box office as its predecessors did is because many kids found it to be too scary. And there are some, for younger kids, there are some scary scenes, and Trantor and the Trolls are scary looking. Many people agree that the thought of the trolls stealing the souls of children and turning them into wooden dolls, and the fact that they when killing the trolls, they end up in gooey messes is very disturbing. Yeah, I can see that. I still love this movie. The only movie reviewed by Siskel and Ebert, this is because Ebert never saw an Ernest before, and of course it got 2 thumbs down. Well, that's because you don't know comedic genius when you see it, fellas. Sorry. A little pissed about that. A total of 17 trolls appear in this film. In an interview by Entertainment Weekly, in an article by Entertainment Weekly from 1990, when Ernest Goes to Jail was in theaters, there was discussion about the next Ernest movie titled Ernest Scared Stupid, but the plot described at the time was about an Ernest inheriting a haunted house from his family, which also would have been a cool scene, or a cool movie to have seen, but the trolls, come on. Ernest fighting a bunch of trolls. How awesome is that? Jim Varney, may he rest in peace, he brought us one of the funniest fictional characters of all time. And this is my absolute favorite horror comedy of all time. Yes, I love Tucker and Dale versus Evil, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Shaun of the Dead, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2. I love all of those. While Evil Dead 2 is my favorite movie of all time, which we discovered yesterday, and today, this is one of my favorite. It's my favorite horror comedy of all time because I'm so nostalgic for this. I watched this every October as a kid, and then I eventually turned it into, you know what, Halloween. We have to watch this every Halloween, and I have done that. Every Halloween, I watch this film, and that's right. I will be watching this today, October 31st. You bet your sweet buns I will be. I don't know why I just said that. Jim Varney, he was a comedic genius. He loved making children happy. He loved being in kids' movies. He was a genuine nice guy. He brought us one of the funniest characters of all time, Ernest, starting in commercials and creating small commercials with this character where he would talk to his buddy Vern, and then turning that into a short-lived series, just a series of little skits, and then into movies. Some really great movies. I give the guy so much credit. It's unfortunate. He loved smoking as much as he loved making children laugh. And unfortunately, he passed away from cancer. And it sucks because we'd still have more Ernest to this day. Um, may he rest in peace. I mean, honestly, he created one of the most memorable characters of all time. And he's still, even to this day, people discover Ernest, and I'm so glad they do. This is a character that needs to live on. Uh, he Ernest does not deserve to die out. Such a funny character, always good moral lessons to be learned. Everything. I absolutely love Ernest as a character. As a kid, I grew up on Ernest. Jim Varney is a talented actor, talented voice actor too. He did Toy Story and Toy Story 2. He played Slinky the dog. He was in the Atlantis movie with Michael J. Fox. He did a bunch of kids movies. He played a couple of villains, and he was good as well in the villain role. And of course, he was Jed Clampett in the Beverly Hillbillies remake, and he did a wonderful job in that as well. Uh, Anything he's in, I suggest give it a watch. It's worth it. He's saved Christmas. He wrote again. He went to jail. He was scared stupid. He joined the army and he went to Africa. Ernest has done a lot, and all through all of his adventures, you just die laughing. So much fun. This one, especially, to make a Halloween movie, even though it's a kids movie, it's considered a kids movie. It holds up to today. There's humor for adults, there's humor for kids, the special effects, the performance from Barney, the fun, wacky tone, the gooey of deaths of those trolls. There's so much fun. They put a lot of heart and soul in this film, and it sucks that it didn't, it wasn't a success at the box office because it deserves a lot of love. This is a great, great, great beginning movie for horror fans. Like a gateway movie for sure. It's fun, it's scary, uh, not human gore but troll gore, and it's an extremely memorable movie. And I have so much nostalgia for this film. And I didn't mention this in Evil Dead 2 because I didn't want to spoil it. But if it wasn't for this film as well, I wouldn't be into horror films and monster movies. Like, because of this film, Evil Dead 2, giant monster movies, I would not be a horror fan. And honestly, like, I love horror movies. Like, they're my favorite genre of all time. Um, just because how much imagination can go into horror movies. There are some really stupid horror movies out there, and they're still great movies. Like, they have no plot whatsoever, but they're still great movies because it's not just about the plot. It's the special effects, it's the atmosphere, it's the dread involved. You can have barely a plot and still make a great movie. Like this one. Ernest releases some trolls and has to fight them. There's not much of a plot to this, but it's still a great movie. I absolutely love this movie. I highly recommend it. It's a fun Halloween movie to watch. It's a fun movie to watch on Halloween. The problem is you can't say Halloween movie because the Halloween film series. So it's a fun movie to watch on Halloween, and it's a good gateway into horror films. I give this 5 know what it means out of 5. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Worth a watch. Thank you so much for bearing with me. This is probably going to be a very long video, but it's one of my favorites. I had to share it with you, and I'm so glad I did. I hope you all have a absolutely wonderful Halloween. Stay safe out there. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Happy Halloween, Paranerds. Enjoy this weird world, especially tonight. Let the spooks and the goblins and the ghosties and the ghosts and the monsters, let them into your life. Let the trolls into your life. Thank you so much. This is the end of the 31 days of Halloween. And it's bittersweet. I had such a fantastic time filming this series and bringing maybe some very lesser known horror films. Hopefully, people are discovering these films and watching them, enjoying them, and they're breathing new life. As long as imagination lives, these horror films will never die. And that's the truth. Horror is probably one of the most creative genres out there. And to have a spooky month like October to celebrate these, and you can celebrate all year long. I do. I watch horror movies all year long. It's basically all I watch. It's a lot of fun. And this series I've done has been a lot of fun. And I can't wait for next year to do another one. It's bittersweet saying goodbye. But this, of course, this isn't goodbye. This is until the next one. But as far as the 31 days of Halloween is done, this is goodbye for now. We'll see you in November. I've got some good stuff planned. And I really, really hope you're going to enjoy it. Happy Halloween, Paranerds. Stay safe out there.